The engines are checked, the lights are working, the oil is working, if that's how it works. The mirrors are in place, the seatbelt is on, ching. 10 and 2, we're ready to go, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is a big, big journey we're about to head on. This is the road to WrestleMania.
Everywhere I go, there's nowhere I belong. And anyone should tell me where will I find? 'Cause everywhere I go, I'm always on my own. Can anyone just catch me before I drown? Can anybody make me feel like I'm not the stranger tonight?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the 04 War, an equite save between me and my good friend Stuart Irvine. He is Smackdown, I am Monday Night Raw in the WWE 2004 database here on TW 2020. This has been going pretty well, you guys have been enjoying it, I'm so glad you've been enjoying it, honestly, thank you so much for the support, continue that, that's great. Like the likes may not feel like it makes a difference, but it makes a big difference to the algorithm of the views, so yeah. Make sure you are liking the video, drop a like on it now. Have you watched the No Way Out pay-per-view episode? Make sure you've watched that because that was big. But now we're on the way to WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels versus Brock Lesnar, confirmed for Monday Night Raw. And it seems as though we're going to have Eddie Guerrero versus Triple H over on Smackdown as their main event. Lots of stuff we can set up. This is the start of it. I'm hoping for a couple of big weeks. Monday Night Raw to start. Well, let's go big, shall we? We've already announced a couple of matches. We announced them on the pay-per-view. The Undertaker is back, and he's taking on RIC FLAIR in the main event. And we're also going to see John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. We'll start with Raw, then we'll move on to SmackDown, who, look, Stuart always brings a big show. He always brings a big show. So we've got to do it ourselves. Let's start with Monday Night Raw. Okay, the road to WrestleMania begins with a pre-show match, TNA versus Scotty 2 Hotty and Spike Dudley. TNA get the win, A-Train pin Spike. 58 for this is pretty good, actually. Really pretty good.
You don't expect much. To be fair, it's pretty much what the level of like TNA, or if you change that name, of course. But at the moment,
I
TNA.
am thinking about it. Confusing Test and Taz are on different sides. Oh, okay. I need to look at that. Maybe I didn't turn Taz. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's only a little bump and it's on the pre-show, so it's fine. But yeah, I mean, good scoring, it gives you a bit of optimism that if you put them against someone similar, it might work. So it's good. 58, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good considering Spike and Scotty put in 42 and 41. Test and A-Train have carried them. Second pre-show match, 6-man tag for a 48 this time, which makes sense, there's lesser people involved. Finlay got the win for his team. His teammates Maven and Orlando Jordan. They beat Matt Morgan, Rico and Nunzio. It's a way to get Finlay over and just see what some other guys are doing. Interesting to me, Maven, 45. Pretty good performance from him. Nunzio, 42 as well.
I mean, for Maven was pretty... Maven was like... I always thought he was pretty decent back in the day. So maybe... I'm not saying put him like a bit huge storyline, but maybe put him in something.
Yeah, potentially.
See what works.
Potentially worth it, for sure. I'm then going to scroll up. We're going to open, though, the main show off the back of No Way Out. We could go towards Brock and Shawn Michaels, which seems where we're going. We are. We could pick up with a lot of other people. But we're going to open with the music of Kane. Okay? I'm going to press next segment and then I'll explain it all. The segment gets an 84. A lot of people involved. Let me talk you through it. Kane is going to come out. He's going to get on the mic and he's going to call out The Undertaker. He's going to call out The Undertaker because he wants an explanation. Kane says, I know what I've done to you and last night you helped me. I want to know why. The Undertaker comes out and I've got written here a little bit of a promo. He's going to say... Someone once told me blood is thicker than water. Last year, you lost your mask and then you lost yourself. You became this monster that's out of control and can't control his emotions, his jealousy and his fears. The Undertaker says, I was once that monster. Going back to The Undertaker's start in the WWE when he was a monster who couldn't control his anger and his fears.
Yeah, Okay, I like it. Go all the way back.
Taker says, I learned how to handle that emotion and turn my fear into the hearts of everyone else. Kane, you've got a choice. Let me help you become feared again, or we fight and you will rest in peace. Before Kane can answer, Evolution run down. Ric Flair, Batista and Randy Orton run down looking for revenge. They attack Kane, they attack The Undertaker, but out comes Booker T to even the odds. The faces clear the ring. We don't yet have Kane's answer, but that is why The Undertaker is back on Kane's side, because it would be confusing, to be fair. So.
Well, I like the idea that it wouldn't be a thing they would ever do in this, but you brought back like literally like a bit of continuity, like to why they were kind of reason. It's just like, oh, I'm just helping you. You brought a storyline from the past that they don't normally do as much as I would actually like.
And it plays into Kane's recent face turn. We were doing those vignettes. Those vignettes were The Undertaker speaking to him in their power ways, whatever, right? You get the point.
Yeah.
The idea originally, I can say it now, the idea originally that the person behind the vignette was going to be Paul Bearer. And then it would lead to Kane and The Undertaker coming back together. But I didn't win Match of the Month on either month, which meant I couldn't bring someone in. So Paul Bearer is not in the company. So we're working around it.
What you're saying is basically it's my fault.
Yes, your fault. Evolution attacking. You would think it leads to a big 6-man tag, wouldn't you? We already know Ric Flair is booked to face The Undertaker tonight, though. Remember that. Randy Orton, after we come back from break, is going to approach Shane McMahon for an 88 segment. He's going to tell Shane, quite simple, he wants Booker T tonight, no matter what.
Bold, but he's gonna. Always it's again. It's bold.
It is bold. But you've got to remember this is Randy Orton in 2004 who had a temper problem. And that's the idea here. Booker T has got in his head a little bit here and he's frustrated Randy Orton.
Played on his inexperience, I assume.
Yes. 80 for that is pretty good though. Okay, should we open the in-ring part of the main show tonight? Shawn Michaels versus Matt Hardy to open the show.
Oh, this could be good.
Let's find out. It gets an
9. Wow. I thought it would get a good one. I thought it would.
Shawn Michaels, you are a god amongst men. What a match. Getting an 89 out of a 56 performance from Matt Hardy, by the way.
You expect nothing less from Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels.
Just amazing. 94 from Shawn, really carries him. They must have gelled quite well together. It doesn't say they've got chemistry, but I assume they gelled quite well. Only got 8 minutes. Shawn Michaels wins with a sweet chin music. But yeah, just a good opponent for Shawn going into WrestleMania. But it's the post-match thing that everyone's going to be looking at, right? Yeah. Shawn Michaels celebrates, but then Brock Lesnar's music hits. And Brock Lesnar comes to walking down the aisle towards the ring. And knowing from what we've done with Brock Lesnar before, leading to the match against the Hurricane, Brock was keen to attack. Leading to the match against Booker T, Brock was keen to attack. Tonight, Brock is, of course, keen to attack, but before he can get into the ring for the brawl with Shawn Michaels, well, there's no chance in hell. The music of Vince McMahon hits and out comes the chairman of the board and says, no, stop this right now. He says, you two are on a collision course at WrestleMania and I need to protect my main event. This isn't happening. And he puts a no contact order on both of them until the bell rings at WrestleMania.
So is it basically Triple H, Stone, Steve Austin? Basically, if they both attack each other, then there'd be serious consequences?
Yes. If Vince lays out here, he says, Brock, if you lay a hand on Shawn Michaels, you will be stripped of the WWE Championship. Shawn, if you lay a hand on Brock Lesnar, you will lose your WrestleMania title shot. It's simple, right? But Shawn likes this. There's a smile come on Shawn Michaels' face to end the segment as Brock storms off in a huff, as you'd expect, because he's temperamental, but he needs to try and control it, so he leaves. Shawn has a smile on his face because Shawn Michaels has just realised that for 4 weeks, or 3 weeks now, well, no, 4, leading up to WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels can wind up Brock Lesnar for 3 weeks and Brock can't do anything about it.
Good old-fashioned mind games. I like it.
Okay, that's a pretty good segment as well, 87. Really, really good. Let's go... Well, Michael Cole can announce this one if you want. Michael Cole, what's that? Michael Cole's mic not working, so I'll announce it. We've had some details. Tonight, Randy Orton said he wanted Booker T no matter what. Well, Shane McMahon has booked it. It's Randy Orton versus Booker T for the Intercontinental Championship tonight. 73. Nice. Let's see what Randy Orton thinks of that, shall we, in a little bit. Speaking of Shane McMahon, we go backstage where Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman approach Shane McMahon. 68 segment for this isn't bad at all, really, to be honest, considering Billy Kidman's in it. And Billy Kidman really can't speak or perform well in segments, apparently.
Yeah,
cheers, Kidman.
He's not good. He's not great. He's better in the ring. But anyway, continue.
Basically, they both approach Shane McMahon at the same time. They've gone in separately, but they came in at the same time. And they've laid it very clear. Rey Mysterio wants Chavo Guerrero tonight. After what Chavo did at No Way Out, he wants him tonight. Billy Kidman comes in and says, well, you're not the only one, Rey, who's got a score to settle. I've got a score to settle with Test and Albert. And Billy Kidman wants one of them tonight. Sorry, not Test and Albert. Mark Jindrak and Lance Cade. I've got my heel tag teams mixed up there. Of course I did. Cheers. Billy Kidman wants one of them tonight. Shane McMahon... And Stuart's aware of this line already, but it will hit home for him. Shane McMahon says, listen, this isn't Smackdown. We don't run around and do what we want. Okay? We have order on Monday Night Raw. So, it's quite simple. There will be 2 matches tonight. But you won't get who you think you're going to get because I need to keep order. Rey Mysterio will take on Mark Jindrak. Billy Kidman will take on Chavo Guerrero. And if Rey Mysterio or Billy Kidman get involved in the others' matches or get involved post-match while they're out there, there will be trouble.
Is this like the McMahons laying down the law?
Laying down the law tonight, and they made it clear. Chavo versus Kidman, Rey versus Jindrak, and if Rey or Billy Kidman get involved with the others or get or basically come out at all during the match or while they're out there, Shane McMahon says there will be trouble. It will make sense later on. Okay, what's JBL up to, I hear you ask? That's what everyone asks right now, because it's JBL. JBL is, well, in action against Funaki. Poor Funaki. 54 for a squash match as JBL destroys Funaki. I mean, JBL wouldn't like Funaki, you would think.
Well, no, I mean, imagine that clothesline from hell would look spectacular. I mean, it would look amazing.
3 minutes 19. JBL put in a 68 performance, by the way. It's about his popularity, but that's good from him to stick to that consistency. Put in a 54 from this is not a problem at all. Short squash match, putting over the new heel character. JBL afterwards gets on the mic and says he hears there's an Intercontinental Championship match tonight. Well, you can't have a title match without JBL. He demands to be added to the Orton Booker T match. 71, good promo from JBL. We took a viewer's a YouTube comment on board here, and we made it that JBL was being basically it was his microphone work, and it's worked. 71, JBL, good promo. Thank you, John.
Awesome.
Okay,
you do listen. We do listen to the comments.
Chavo promo on Rey for 54. Not as good from Chavo Guerrero. Just talking about how last night Rey Mysterio, well, he got what was coming to him, and Chavo won't stop until he has the Cruiserweight Championship around his waist. He's fully a heel now, Chavo Guerrero, and he proves it in a pretty short domination of Billy Kidman too, just under 4 minutes. Pretty good here actually for 62. Chavo 61, Billy Kidman 58, so they work well again together. Chavo wins with a gory special, and the guy has got, well, he's looking good right now, and he's focused on one thing, and that one thing is the Intercontinental Championship.
And as a wise man once said,
the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, well, a wise man once said, "It's a focused man. A focused man is a dangerous man."
Exactly. Should we check back in with Shane McMahon? We're having a Shane McMahon night. Randy Orton. Well, he did say he wanted Booker T no matter what, didn't he? Did
joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, well. Did that include putting the Intercontinental Championship on the line? No. Randy Orton complained to Shane McMahon and said he didn't agree to the title match. But Shane says tough luck because the match, it's next. We'll go to break and we'll come back and it should be the Intercontinental Championship on the line. 72 for the segment. Pretty good. Pretty good, actually. We'll go to break then. We'll come back. And before we can get going with the Intercontinental Championship, the music of JBL hits again. JBL comes down to ringside, gets on the mic, and he makes it very clear. He says, I demanded to be part of this match. I will be part of this match. If this match is happening now, I either destroy both men or I'm added to the match. Shane, Vince, whoever, it's your call. But before he can go any further, he's cut off by the music of the returning Ron Simmons, who is up for a fight.
I mean, out of all the people in all the world, why would you annoy and piss off Ron Simmons? It's a bad move. That's what I'm saying.
JBL turned his back on Ron Simmons. He ended the APA in quite heartbreaking, if you're a fan of the APA anyway, quite heartbreaking circumstances. And Ron Simmons is here for revenge. He comes straight down to the ring. They brawl in the ring. They brawl around ringside. They brawl into the fans. These guys cannot stop fighting each other until JBL mule kicks him for a low blow, because I like the idea of JBL doing it as a coward, and running away through the crowd to the top of the stand and away. Out he goes. Right, that's the end of JBL.
Runs to his limousine as fast as possible.
In theory, we haven't shown his limousine yet, but in theory, yes.
We haven't got that far yet. My bad.
No. But Ron Simmons, in theory, at this point, has ruined JBL's chances of becoming Intercontinental Champion, at least for tonight. 66 for this isn't bad, considering Ron Simmons is in it, JBL's in it. It's about standard for what it is. Look, this is a lower mid-card match we're building towards, so it's fine. It's pretty good.
Yep.
But let's not forget, the Intercontinental Championship is still on the line. Randy Orton's music hits. He comes out with the championship, Evolution by his side. And then Booker T's music hits. He comes out. Actually, swap them around because the championship come out last. Booker T, then Randy Orton, whatever. The both men come out. And we're doing the match right here on Monday Night Raw. Last night at No Way Out, Booker T was this close to becoming WWE Champion. It's tonight the night he has some gold and a WrestleMania destiny in the cards. Let's find out. Orton, Booker T for the Intercontinental Championship. Your winner. And still Intercontinental Champion for an 82, Randy Orton. Of course he does. And he cheats to win. RIC Flair rolls in a steel chair. Randy Orton uses the steel chair to win, or something like that. Foreign object, so it doesn't really matter too much. But the idea is Booker T has been screwed out of the Intercontinental Championship. Booker, 83. Orton, 76. Gets an 82. Potentially could have been better. I think Booker has performed to his level. Orton's performed to his level. Neither guy's really excelled past it. But at the same time, this is a Monday Night Raw TV match. That's not necessarily a bad thing. This is still a 4-star TV match, if we're being really honest.
Yeah, it's what it. Yeah, it would be for Booker T versus Randy Orton. That would be a good 3 to 4-star match anyway. So 82, that's good, especially for who's there. I mean, what was it? So was it 76? Is it 83? Was it 60?
83 for Booker. So that's about their popularity level right now, which is good. Like you see, some people, Shawn Michaels earlier against Matt Hardy, performed above his popularity. They didn't quite do that here, but that's okay. Sometimes you just need to have a good match, and they've had a good match, and they've told the story that Booker T's been screwed out of the title. Randy Orton's done whatever he could to keep the belt. We'll continue with this post-match, actually, because Booker T is going to try and get back at Randy Orton. Well, when Evolution are out there, it's not his smartest move, is it? Tell me.
No.
Tell me you didn't just say that. I'm sorry, Booker, but it's not your smartest move. Evolution beat down Booker T. Randy Orton hits the RKO. Batista with a powerbomb. We're not going to do the figure 4 because it will get a pop here in North Carolina.
And they're the bad guys, so the bad guys can't be getting cheered.
But yeah, Evolution lay out Booker T. But if you think Booker T's done with Randy Orton, he will not be done with Randy Orton.
Where's Austin?
Where is it? Okay. Ray promo on Chavo for 70. Good promo from Ray. I scripted him, and it seemed to help, which is good. He says he is still in shock about what happened last night. Someone he calls he's actually going to say someone that's my friend, or, well, I guess was my friend, in a real sad line. He's really cut up by what Chavo Guerrero's done, and he doesn't want to fight him yet. Let's see where that goes.
Will Chavo push him over the edge? We'll find out.
Ray's going to beat Mark Jindrak for a 66. Rey Mysterio getting a 66 out of Mark Jindrak and pulling out a 73. My boy. Well,
it's not that surprising because, you know, Rey Mysterio is amazing. From 02 to 04, outstanding.
Who's that jumping out the sky? REY Mysterio. Here we go. What a performance from him. 66 is pretty good. We kept it short. Ray wins with a 619. And as Shane said earlier, Billy Kidman cannot get involved here post-match either. Rey Mysterio didn't earlier. But Shane did not say anything about Chavo Guerrero. 61 rate segment. Chavo comes out and beats down Rey Mysterio again. Hits the gory bomb. And, well, he wasn't banned from ringside, was he? To be fair to him.
An oversight by Shane there.
Chavo saw the loophole, took well advantage. Look, we've had a pretty good show so far. I think we can say we've had a pretty good show so far. We've still got two big matches. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, which we announced on the pay-per-view, and The Undertaker versus RIC FLAIR, which we also announced on the pay-per-view. So, I
mean, that's going to be, it's got potential to be a high.
We are in Flair country as well, for the record. That was purely accidental at first, but I took advantage of it. So, okay.
Yeah, sure, it was accidental. Sure.
Okay, now before we get to Brock and Cena, Shawn Michaels is going to cut a promo on Brock Lesnar, only for a 71. That's quite poor from him. But he's basically going to say he's heard what Vince has said earlier, and Shawn says, look, WrestleMania, it'll be a war, no doubt about it. But until then, it's time for the Heartbreak Kid to have some fun. 71. Oh, dickhead Shawn Michaels going to be back, isn't he? You betcha he's going to be back.
It's got potential to some fun next couple of weeks. It's going to be interesting to see what you come up with.
So, Brock's had a bad night. Brock tried to attack Shawn Michaels, was told he couldn't. Frustration. Shawn Michaels seems to be happy. Brock Lesnar's also got a challenge, though, because John Cena enjoyed mixing up with the WWE champion, and he wants some more. These guys are going to get the Wild Brawl. Let's see how they do. Brock and Cena gets an 82, the same score they got in their last match, which was good. So these guys are hitting a consistency, which is nice. Brock, 91, Cena, 73. Again, a lack of psychology with these two, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. I can see it, particularly in 04, the lack of psychology for these two. But 82, again, it's similar to Booker and Orton. Sometimes you don't need to have 5-star classics. Sometimes just have a good match.
Yeah, well, it's good to have two matches that are consistent. So it shows that if consistency is good between them, then maybe at some point they're going to be hitting higher ratings in the future. If you want to put them,
particularly Cena, obviously Brock's hitting the higher rating now, but Cena, that's another good performance from John Cena. John Cena in 6 months or 9 months' time in the game could be on Brock's level. He could quite easily be on Brock's level. Let's see.
04, it was the hottest thing going.
04 was the year that John Cena went from pretty good mid-card guy to let's put the company on his shoulders. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
we do the same, maybe.
We'll see. Post-match, Shawn Michaels comes out with a glass of water in his hand. He's enjoying himself. Well, we say water, whatever he's drinking. Applauses Brock Lesnar. Gets in his face and pours the water all over Brock Lesnar, who leaves in a huff. Shawn Michaels is having
shenanigans.
Fun. He's having fun.
Having those classic Shawn Michaels shenanigans.
Shawn Michaels did not touch Brock Lesnar, for the record. The water did.
So does that mean they get suspended? I mean, was it get suspended?
No water allowed. Everyone's parched all night. Right, now stop it. 82. This I expected to be a little better, but it's fine. We'll build to it. Right, main event time. Let's build towards it. RIC FLAIR promo on the Undertaker, only for 74, bit low. But we're in Flair country. It's two legends. Let's see how they do. The Undertaker is back, and his first match is in the main event of Monday Night Raw for an 83. So the injury that Ric Flair's working through, I'm assuming, has brought it down so much. It also didn't really have a clean finish. Interference abound, which is probably why.
So basically, it's like all the all the stuff that kind of went against you, like the injury, kind of did play a big part of it a little bit. Yeah.
Also, a lack of storyline heat for these guys because we're just building the storyline, so that's normal as well. It's very early on in the storyline, so it's fine. But still, 83, not bad at all. I was kind of hoping for a little bit better, and the performances tell me I should have been. 86 from Flair, Taker 92. It should be about, the average tells me it should be an 88 in theory, but 83 is not bad at all. Again, another good match. We're gonna we're gonna close the show with, a brawl between Taker and Kane, the brothers of destruction to some, Ric Flair and Batista. Randy Orton is not part of this. 86, good way to end the show. And the brothers of destruction clear the ring, and the Evolution, they're stuck on the outside without their tag team championships, and we end with the scene, a visual scene of the Undertaker and Kane picking up the tag team championships and just looking at them and looking at each other. And maybe
sign of things to come.
Michael Cole would tell you we could be looking at a feature. So sorry, but it's JR in theory. But yeah, you get my point. 86. That gives us a 84. Okay, that seems a little low. In a way, no. I think we've had I don't know actually. If you look at the rest of the show, it's most of the stuff has been around that 80 to 85 level. Most of the big stuff, some of the stuff above, some of the stuff below that you'd expect to be below. Nothing wowed the show. This is one of those NXT 2018 shows where it's the TV shows where it's nothing's fantastically amazing, but everything's good. And that's not a bad show to have necessarily. It's because we've been conditioned for a long time about wrestling shows that not every show has to be like 5-star every week. And this is especially if it's in a build up to WrestleMania. That's what you would rather have an 84 now and then build up to if you get like a 90 or 92 or like on the go home show at WrestleMania, then you're laughing, right? So 84 in your first week you're hoping eventually it will build and build. So it's good. It is good, but you'd think that main event would have done better, but it's Look, we're also very aware that we have extremely high standards in this save so far, because the truth is, if you told me that, that's 84 out of 100, remember, so if you'd told me I'd give a Monday Night Raw show rating right now in real life in 2022 an 8.4 out of 10, I'd say that's a very good show.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, none of our shows have been below 83, 84 anyway.
No, I think 82 was the lowest, but yeah, I get what you mean. Look, we've done well. That's a score that you can beat, though, which I'm a bit worried about. Okay, Smackdown kicks off on the pre-show. The Bashams get a win. We're actually pushing the Bashams here. Well, not really on the pre-show, but let's just say they do. We stuck Kanyon and Stevie Richards together. Kanyon is a heel, but you don't have a lot of babyface wrestlers. We've just realised on the Smackdown.
Yeah, I think lower. I think it's more that's the lower to mid card. So I might have to fix that. I felt that, but it's fine. It's a pre-show, so it's alright. But let's have a look at scores. Kenyon got, Basham's got.
Stevie Richards 43, and Doug was the best, which is interesting.
I think Stevie Richards doing a 43 is helpful, because that means you put him against someone that's like mid card, or maybe you want to push, and that could be a good score. But yeah, I'm happy with that. But yeah, 41. It's just a test one to see who's doing well. So, but yeah, I'm happy with that.
Second pre-show match. Jacqueline over Shaniqua for a 48. Jacqueline 52, Shaniqua 32. Good performance from Jacqueline.
Yeah, I mean, Jacqueline, obviously, I think a couple of weeks ago, when she went against Molly Holly, I think it was, done well there. So I'm not surprised. I mean, she need Core 32, but I haven't used it as much. I think there's still with the Bashims, ironically. So, in theory, I didn't mention them at all during their tag team run, but yeah, but that's good. But it's a bit, Jacqueline is, yeah, it's good. That's a good rating and could be useful for the women's division. So yeah, I'm happy for that.
Okay, we open the main show with the man who won the Royal Rumble, Eddie Guerrero. Wow.
98, Jesus, man. I'm loving that. I mean, to be fair, no surprise, is you got Triple H is on form, you got Eddie, and you got Christian. But yeah, I guess we'll start what happened. So basically, how it starts is basically Eddie Guerrero starts the show. He's the winner of the Royal Rumble. He's got a world title shot, and also he's just come out of a brutal cage match with Chris Jericho. He's battered, he's bruised after that brutal cage match. Proper big up how good that match was.
Big fight it was.
Yeah, and then obviously just starts out, brings the mic saying, happy to be here, that kind of stuff. Start saying that finally now I've got rid of Jericho, ended that feud, ended that thorn in my side. Now I can really focus on what I've always to relive in my dream. I've become world heavyweight champion at Wrestlemania. Just before he can say anything else, Triple H interrupts him, comes down to the ring, and kind of comes out and congrats him on his big win against Jericho. Basically, he's like, yeah, beating Jericho, congratulations, big win. But that match would be that victory was easy compared when you're facing me at WrestleMania. Your fairy tale dream will be over because you've got no chance against me. Then he's just kind of bigging up, saying to himself, like, you know who I've beaten? I've beaten The Rock. I've beaten Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, even beating Kurt Angle twice. And you think you have a chance against me? You should just give up your shot now, because you've got no chance of beating me at WrestleMania, no chance. So Triple H has kind of got a bit confident more now with them two big wins against Kurt. But then Eddie's kind of like, he's not like backing down. He's kind of going, I like the idea of like going, Eddie going, are you sure, Triple H? Yes, you beat Kurt Angle twice. But we know you're very lucky in that match. It's just like literally fingertip away of success of winning those matches. And we all know that you're basically a person that was nothing without great men behind you. Obviously, you without great men, you're nothing. Even from your DX days, it was Shawn Michaels that was the star, not you. Even in Evolution, you still had obviously people like RIC Flair and Randy Orton and all that behind your back, all that kind of stuff.
Can I just thank you for putting over my Raw talent on SmackDown. Thank you very much. Continue.
That's fine. I mean, to be fair, I'm not that guy that takes cheap digs at shows.
I am. I absolutely am.
But point is, yeah. So it's kind of to put a point that basically Triple H, as we said before, basically he talks about how great he is, but let's be honest, he's remembered as being behind greater men. Better people that have been remembered more. So, and then you got Eddie after that saying, so I know you underestimate me. And all the things I've gone through, fighting through my demons, going through, fighting through all that, overcoming the odds, beating you will be much easier than anything that I faced in the last couple of years. And, and if you want to doubt my ability, go ahead. Because in 4 weeks, I'm taking that title from you. And basically, you should hold it close because I'm taking it. And then just when you think that's the end of the segment, Christian comes out, basically starts saying, that's tough talk, Eddie. Again, you're talking about luck. You were lucky at Royal Rumble. You were lucky against my best friend, Chris Jericho. And tonight, I'm going to make you pay for what you did to my best friend. And he comes to the ring, and then they face off, and then Triple H is kind of like getting out of it because doesn't want to get involved in it. So sets up a bigger match later on tonight. But yeah, it's kind of wants to be a big promo thing, bit long, kind of big up that both snaps back and forth on the mic that would be entertaining. So, but yeah, bloody hell, I still can't believe that's a high score. Wow, that's mental.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Eddie and Christian in the main event then tonight. But we open the show with the world's greatest tag team against Billy and Chuck for a 61. This is okay. Yeah, okay.
It does a job. I mean, again, I kind of put this as just kind of a, I didn't put much about the finish in a sense. It's just more of I've literally put it just a showcase how good the world's greatest, to show why they are the world's greatest tag team. Yeah, I think on in here it says like, this is a finisher with the leapfrog, stun gun? Is that what they said? It's weird. I don't think I've ever done that move, but okay. But yeah, it's just basically to showcase that these are the number one contenders, and they're bad, and they make light work of the tag division because they're a threat to those titles for the Dudleys. So, but the next segment's the one that should be interesting.
Sorry, yes, there we go. My computer froze. But next segment for a 58.
That's fine for what it is. But basically, this one's kind of as I'm gonna kind of as always, I'm gonna nick kind of a car ID said last week about we said before is obviously after that attack from we like to say as JR with like the damn Dudleys, and obviously Eddie Guerrero, but it's more the Dudleys. Paul Heyman's in a comical wheelchair, and a cast around his neck, proper sell that that 3D was devastating type thing. And and it's basically got Paul Heyman on the mic, basically furious what happened last week. And Paul Heyman basically says, "Look at me, I'm in a wheelchair, I can't walk. Every time I move, I'm in pain, and it's all because of those damn Dudleys. Hey, Bubba Ray and Devon, you forget I made you. It wasn't because of you. It wasn't because of me. No one would even know who the hell you two are. Who gives you the right to attack?" It's basically what it says: attack me. Why do you know? I know why you did it. It's because you're jealous. You're jealous of my new clients, the world's greatest tag team, because they are the future of this tag division, and it's the same thing. In 4 weeks, they're going to beat you, and they're going to become tag team champions, and then they're going to make tag team wrestling great again, and then at the end of it, saying, "While you're back at in bingo halls, faded into irrelevancy."
Wow.
And then so time is ticking because your time is almost up. And that's the whole promo. But I think with Paul Heyman, he only deserved pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good promo there. But,
Definitely. I mean, so is this confirmed for WrestleMania, the world's greatest tag team versus the Dudleys?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of confirmed. I think the Go Home show in the sense that Paul Heyman's is negotiated his way into getting number 10 for his new clients. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, so
okay.
It's
wow, Molly Holly promo and Trish for a 75. Molly bringing the promo work.
I'm impressed. I mean, to be fair, she has done really well the last couple of months, like to say, right? When you try to build her up, is incredible because I do rate Molly Holly. But yeah, this is kind of a situation where obviously, again, we still don't know who was taking out her kind of friend. What you're gonna say her friends? Because in defense there were like who took them out. Who's obviously at first she thought it was Lita. Well, obviously, she found out she wasn't after No Way Out. So now this one, it's like she must think, well, Trish wasn't there. Maybe that was Trish. Maybe Trish did it. So like, and she's basically Trish should watch her back because Molly Holly's gunning for her because she thinks it's her to find out where her friends are. So yeah, so it's that kind of mystery.
75. Mick Foley though, see what he's up to for an 83.
Yeah, I mean, well, as the joke, see, he didn't start the show, isn't it? But he's very hard at work in his office as always. With as another thing that always happens with Mick Foley is no one ever knocks on the door. Everyone's so rude at SmackDown, but it's Mick Foley. He's okay. He's okay with it. But yes, it's Kurt.
Has Mick Foley got a door?
I like to be fair, we sold Mick Foley for a situation where he's like, you know what? First day on the job, he basically said, remove the door.
Remove it. Get rid of it.
Don't leave the door. But anyway, Kurt, basically it's Kurt goes into his office, obviously not slamming dogs, so we're going to go for that. He has no door, I like that. But basically, like, kind of Kurt, like, he's lost twice now, and he's kind of like, he knows he can beat Triple H. And I like the flippant sort of, we started this feud with Triple H being the paranoid one and the frustrated one, but now it's Kurt that's now the frustrated and annoyed one, because now he's faced him twice, Triple H, and he can't beat him. He just did twice in big matches and he can't. And basically he's got demanding into Mick Foley's of saying, I want a rematch. I want Triple H tonight for the world title. And Mick's like, no, Kurt, you've had 2 shots of the dice and you lost, sorry to say. And our main event's set. But if you want action so bad, I've got a person that loves to showcase his abilities in the ring. Tonight is going to be yourself versus, I guess this is Thursday nights, yeah, Mr. Thursday Nights, RVD, Rob Van Dam. And then I kind of end the segment with basically everyone's not happy with this. That could be he walks out of the office not happy because he's like he wanted the champ tonight. He's got RVD.
The rest of the machine showing a little bit of frustration, but a big face versus face battle for later in the show. Speaking of big, Mark Henry versus Rikishi for a 56.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. Yeah, this is obviously set up last week, but yeah, it's kind of as you expect. It's kind of I put here like two big guys fighting. It's kind of it's a hoss fight type situation. Trying to who's with the fighter who's going to hit the finisher first type thing. But obviously we know it's obviously Mark Henry. He said world's strongest splash, but I'm going world's strongest slam because it's better. Hits Rikishi gets the win, so no surprise there. But again, it's again as seems to be a story of me. What happens afterwards is the one that's interesting. So basically after this, obviously he's beating Rikishi. He's out, but to properly show the strength of Mark Henry is he picks up Rikishi. Puts him on his shoulders like he's a sack of potatoes, like he's nothing, proper shoulder. He's the world's strongest man, right? So he goes up to the top of the stage and he sits there and he goes to the end of the stage and then he picks up a Guerrero press, like literally above his head, Rikishi, but he's got like 300 odd pounds. I think he's not a size man, if you know what I mean. So picks him up, Guerrero press slam, and slams him, throws him over the stage. And Rikishi is on the stage to properly show that Mark Henry is a force to be reckoned with, and everyone should be to basically put everyone on notice that no one's safe for Mark Henry.
Okay, this isn't bad for a 59. To be fair, not bad at all. Trish has got a promo on Molly Holly for a 71. Good promo again from the women. Yeah,
I'm kind of happy with that. To be fair, it's just this one's kind of a Trish. It's kind of like. We're going to make it like kind of like a rumor type thing, gossip type thing, in a sense. Like there's talk around the locker room saying like, what happened to Gail, Kim, and Jazz? And then Trish obviously sees his face. She's like, I don't know why everyone's talking. I don't know why Molly Holly thinks I have anything to do with it. She must be. I don't want to use the word stupid, but like I just like she must be stupid or something's wrong with her to think that I've got anything to do with it. If I want to take you out or mess with you, I don't have to play mind games. I can beat you outright. So yeah, and obviously sets up. Obviously So basically, it's a setup that I've got nothing to do with this disappearance. Don't know why Molly Holly thinks it's me. So yeah, that's how I was going to do that.
Trish, good promo. She's proven to be a good promo in this save, which is interesting. Okay, Trish had that promo before a match against the returning Ivory. Of course, Stuart won match of the month for January with, I believe Kurt and Triple H. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he won match of the month, which meant he could sign somebody. He looked in developmental, found Ivory was down there, and decided to bring her back up. So the match gets a 60. Ivory put in a 39.
That's fine. I mean, to be fair, it's not like the women usually get on about 60, mid 60s, like 65 and that. So, but yeah, it's just again, it's Ivory. So it would if you watch that would be a big name, because obviously Ivory is a big name in the women's division in general. To be fair, but it's kind of a match obviously with it was the I think it's Stratus faction, like the third was it finisher by Trish Stratus there. But it's just to again show that she's probably Molly Holly's gunning for her, but she's still credible for a title as well. So credible threat.
She is the top star on that division. Do you know what I mean? At this point, everyone knows it. Now it's time to heat her up again, heading into WrestleMania, which is kind of what Stu's tried to do here, I think. After the match, though, the champion sees the challenge coming, and Molly Holly takes 72. Action.
I love that. Yeah, basically, as obviously when we put out a couple of segments ago, she did kind of threaten Trish that she's going to go after that. So in this case, after the match, basically, as you expect, Molly Holly using her women's title to basically take out Trish, straight to the shot to the head. She's out, and then obviously we have set up the kind of Trish and kind of Lita as kind of like a unit together type thing. So she comes out, to save her friend. And and obviously Molly Holly gets out there because she's done what she wanted to do to kind of prove her point that she thinks it's Trish that's made her friends disappear. So, but this thing's getting very personal very quickly.
Very, very good segments for the women so far, to be honest. Very, very good. Okay, Kurt Angle promo on Rob Van Dam for 71.
That's fine. Basically, this one is kind of... I like the idea of Kurt's like, I don't need this tonight. It's not what I wanted. He's kind of going like, to RVD. He's going, no offense to RVD. But tonight, I'm looking beyond you. I'm looking for Triple H. Again, he got lucky like twice now. I know I can beat this guy. But I know I know I can get the old, the old saying, third time's a charm. And but for some reason, I don't. I'm gonna get that shot at some point. But tonight, if you want to, I know I deserve better, and I don't want to face you tonight. But you know what I'm like in the ring. I'm very competitive, and I'm gonna show you why should be facing Triple H for the world title next.
Okay, the match itself then. Kurt Angle versus Rob Van Dam gets 92.
I knew it'd do that well. I had a feeling it would because RVD's great and obviously Kurt's Kurt. Basically with this match, I feel it's a very competitive match. But this would point out a thing maybe later. But Kurt's more aggressive in this match than he normally is. He's not just trying; he's way more aggressive than normal. But obviously it says Angle slam, but I kind of made the RVD tap because obviously Kurt's like on a mission tonight to prove a point. So I like the idea that basically he's got the ankle lock in, he tap, RVD taps, but after the bell, he's still not. He has to get the refs have to tell him to let him go because again. So if unfortunately for RVD, Kurt's got to make a point tonight, and even afterwards, it's an Angle slam just to make a point. He's not obviously he's a face, but. He's really frustrated. And unfortunately, RVD was the wrong place at the wrong time.
I mean, I like it. It's a very good match. We'll go from that to a Scott Steiner promo for an 80. What? What? Is it show on crack?
I love the way it's like when you get an 80, it's like, there's something wrong with the game. Maybe to be fair, Scott Steiner's pretty high in the save. And
it's like a 65 popularity. He's pulling out an 80 promo. Scott Steiner's never had an 80 promo in his fucking life. I'm fuming. I'm not even believing that.
What are you saying? You're saying that the famous maths promo where it was sacrifice wasn't the best
Scott Steiner
promo.
don't do maths. End of story. I'm moving on. Right? I don't care what he says. He cuts a promo of Val Venis. I can't listen to it. I absolutely can't listen.
He's not. Just to point out, he's not bitter. Eh?
I hate.
I know you're not a bitter.
I hate you. The match gets to 68.
That's fine, but I mean, what I'll do is I'll say what he's supposed to say because someone decided to be very petty and decided to press next on the thing. But basically the promo before the match wasn't that amazing, and it just said he's on a mission to prove why people shouldn't overlook Scott Steiner. But basically in this match, it's basically just simple fun. I don't actually know what Scott Steiner's finisher actually is because obviously was that Frank? Did I say Frankensteiner? I don't know.
Sorry, are you talking to me? I took my headphones off. I didn't want to listen to the promo. Frankensteiner. Yeah, it's meant to say Franken. I don't know if it says Frankensteiner. But yeah, Scott Steiner's finisher was the Frankensteiner. That's why it's called the Frankensteiner.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. It's just one up. But my God, man, calm down. It's only an 80. I can't. I mean, it's fine. I mean...
Let's just move on to something better. Scott Steiner wins. Who cares?
Okay, well you'll like the next promo because I think that'll just help you a bit more.
Oh, for God's sake. Christian has pulled it out again. The promo god over here.
You've got to love Christian. You've got to be honest and really try to push him, and it's really worked out quite well in the end. But the promo is quite simple as well in the sense that Christian's kind of saying tonight he's going to get revenge for what he done to his best friend Chris Jericho, and he thing we obviously bring up that obviously forgets that Chris has beat Eddie Guerrero before, obviously in the US title eliminator. So this is, and basically in this situation, he's basically, I beat you once, and I'm going to beat you again to show you why Captain Charisma should be getting a world title shot at some point in the future. But for some reason, Mick doesn't want me to to kind of put across that there's a beef between him and that. So tonight I'm gonna beat you like I did a couple of weeks ago and get revenge on my friend. So but an 88.
I just want to point out at this point, for anyone watching the YouTube video that's wondering why I'm so frustrated, Ric Flair could have promo on The Undertaker on my show for a 73. Scott Steiner could have promo on Val Venus for an 80, and Christians could have promo for an 88. I give up.
But let me defend it.
No, nothing wrong with your booking. The game is bullshit.
No, I mean, I think I know why it's doing better, though. Just because, let's be honest, the difference between that promo and my one is I'm consistently doing this kind of stuff.
Fine, but Scott Steiner cutting a better promo than Ric Flair.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Yeah, I give you that. But Christian doing much that's probably because there's consistency. Because obviously I keep putting him on consistently, put him on the show. Yeah. So that makes sense. But I don't know why the 80. I don't know. I don't know why.
Anyway, Eddie puts a promo on Christian for an 82. Christian's a better promo than Eddie Guerrero. Christian is a really good promo, to be fair.
Yeah, I think people really underrate how good he is on the mic. I mean, especially in 04, he was probably, especially the Captain Charisma stuff. Basically Eddie's talking about how, yes, you did beat me. Yes, and but you forget that was because you helped your friend that I did. That's usually, yeah, let's say I destroyed. I took out your best friend. So you don't have him tonight, so yes, you beat me once, but without your friends, I don't think you have the chance to beat me again. And I'm going to show why I'm going to become the new World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania. So
okay, main event time then. Eddie Guerrero versus Christian. We've already had a 92 on this show. Let's see what this one does. An 85. What a great match again. Not quite as good, but still very good. This show has been very, very good. We know now he's won week one. If you haven't, there's something wrong. Eddie Guerrero gets the win. Lasso from El Paso. We're going to say he gets the frog splash. 92 from Eddie. Christian, only an 80.
But for the US champion to get an 80.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good, actually.
It gives me potential if I wanted to push him up the card. That's I hope I'm not spoiled. It's kind of spoiled, obviously. At some point I would like to. But sure. This it's kind of like you said, a great match, near falls, but frog splash at the end. But this is the thing that I'm hoping works. But this is when I thought about this. This could work, it couldn't. But yes, the segment afterwards is kind of could be the big talking point.
An 84 for this.
That's fine.
Still good. It's still a good segment. It's not hitting the levels that it has before, but it's still a good segment and it's interesting. I'm going to let Stu talk through this. I like this. So basically afterwards you expect nothing less. Obviously Triple H comes out, tries to attack Eddie, and then it's obviously a 2-on-1 with obviously Christian and Eddie Guerrero. And obviously Kurt comes out, does the save. Obviously he's the face. Obviously that's how it works. Then obviously after then we have a face-off, kind of like a mutual respect. They're both shaking hands. Maybe have Kurt basically I'm again ironically ripping off Shawn Michaels with the old. He looks to Eddie Guerrero and goes, "I'm sorry." Then out of nowhere, you got Kurt Angle hits an angle slam on Eddie Guerrero. Everyone's like, you would think, wait, what? Why? Like the question is, why Kurt? Why? But I like the idea of he hit him with the angle slam. But you look at Kurt Angle's face; he doesn't want to do it, but he feels like he's got no choice because he wants that world title shot, and the only way you can think of doing that is by making an impact and making a message on Eddie Guerrero. So we end with a kind of the question is why Kurt? Why? Why Kurt?
And kind of that I used to love back in the day because it's always cool. But yet, I
like it. It's been a great show. 2 standout matches, some good segments. You've got to have beaten me. Let's see what you've got. A 90. What a great... This is for the second time in the series I'm doing this. What a show. I can't argue because I put some big matches on my show that probably didn't perform how I thought they would. He's gone, you know what, let's stick Kurt and Van Damme in there and Eddie and Christian in there and these guys will kill it. And they have.
I think what I figured out over the last couple of... in this last... 2 months is now. 2 months now. With it in a set, we're on this save. It's basically that you've got to have 2 kind of big matches, and I know who I can pit now. Who I can pit against that I can rely on. I think. Yeah. But obviously, I'm happy with that. I mean, was it at some point? I'm hoping to get was it 98 for that opening segment? I mean, was it 97 for the angle?
Look, that 98 opening segment And that 92 match is why that's so high at a 90. That mainly that 98. To be honest, I would argue 98. If that was, I don't know, an 84, an 85, even with the other segments, I do think you'd beat me. But I think you'd be looking at an 85, 86. That 98 boosted the whole show so much, which is great. Good. I mean, that's what you want. That is what you want.
Yeah,
I am frustrated in a lot of ways. But I also know I can't complain about losing to a very good show.
Yeah, I mean, especially I think that Scott Steiner thing when he bagged you, didn't it? Really annoyed you.
The Steiner thing bugs me. I'm not going to lie. But I also know the Steiner thing hasn't made much of an impact. So, do you know what I mean? If you'd have beaten me by 1 point, I'd be fuming right now.
And then you find out it's Scott Steiner, and ironically, it's about math. That would be hilarious. But yeah, I mean, again, it's fine. It's just as you said, it's World WrestleMania. You've got to like the cork out, great show. So it's going to hopefully it'll be a trend that can continue. So we'll find out.
Round 1 to Smackdown. You know what? Sometimes you've just got to. Again, I've said this before in the save. You've got to just accept it. It's a great show from Smackdown. It's a really good show. When you've got that main event that's killed it again. It's a wonderful show. I thought I had a decent show, potentially a little bit lower than I wanted. I think some of the big matches didn't quite hit how you'd expect, but it is what it is. The main thing is the two shows are killing it right now. I wish it wasn't, but it is what it is. 1-0 to Stuart as we head towards WrestleMania. It hurts still. Oh, it hurts. If you like the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for a whole lot more. The L4 War returns on Wednesday for week 2 of the booking towards WrestleMania. WrestleMania, yes, come on.